Off the bench overtime, T-Bob and Jacob Hester talking about Panthers Saints. So Monday Night Football, a doubleheader. We have the second game of the Saints season and the second game of Bryce Young's young career. No pun intended. Pun actually intended. Spoiler alert. Here's the deal. I'm not impressed with the Panthers. I said this all off season. People, talked about how good their roster was, how good they're coaching. I don't really think so. I don't think they have much, and I don't think Bryce Young is very good. In fact, he was terrible in week 1. Out of all the rookie quarterbacks, he was the worst. He had the worst performance. The eye test, he looked small. And it's normal for rookie quarterbacks to do bad in the first couple of weeks. So Monday Night Football, a Saints defense who can get after the quarterback, a Saints defense who can play in the secondary and make things hard for Bryce Young and hard for those receivers. I think the Saints should roll here. It's always hard going on the division or going on the road in the division, for sure. And Monday night is a different kind of beast as well. The Saints I'm not going to say they got lucky, but the Saints got fortunate that they played relatively poorly in week 1 and so came out with a win. So I think we have yet to see the best of the Saints. We've yet to see the best of Derek Carr. We've yet to see the best of the offense. Maybe we saw the best of the defense. The defense was pretty good in week 1, but I think that continues. I think the Saints beat the Panthers. We certainly should. And I think they handle them pretty easily. I mean, you hate to just sit here and say, I'm not worried about this game. I'm not worried about a divisional game. You hate to say that because then it turns around and bites you. But I'm not really nervous about this game. And I can already see it now if we end up losing. But I'm not going to sit here and tell y'all something I don't feel. So I feel like we should put it on Bryce Young. I mean, I don't expect the Carolina offense to do really anything. And I will certainly be watching this game locked in. And so I'm excited to see how Bryce Young handles the defense and handles the pressure of Monday night.
Taking on the Panthers on Monday night. So obviously we're going to revisit that again on Monday. But quick surface level, boys, how are we feeling about the game? I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
It would have been hard for me to come away more impressed with the Saints defense on Sunday. Like we opened up on this last Monday's show. 0 touchdowns, 3 turnovers forced. Was it 3 sacks? How many sacks?
I believe 3 sacks,
I think
yes.
3 sacks.
3 sacks, 3 interceptions.
Shut down Derrick Henry. Overcame some short fields, some bad positions that you were put in. I mean, there's just nothing. I mean, the defensive line got flying passing grades. Brian Brzee gets a sack, half a sack even in his first.
And I mean, I think if you look at what Tennessee can do and tried to do, and then you look at Carolina, I would think Carolina's playbook, they can't open up everything yet to Bryce Young. So in week 1, we had a pretty much fully matured Tennessee offense. DeAndre Hopkins available, Derrick Henry available, Ryan Tannehill in his whatever season with the team. Everything should have been kind of there for Tennessee. Carolina is right now in the middle of those growing pains. We're not going to see the best of Bryce Young this season for weeks. The playbook is probably 30, 40, 50% of what it eventually will be. Bryce Young a couple months ago, didn't even know what team he'd be on. All right, so you can't sit here and say this is going to be a fully loaded Carolina Panthers team. That's why rookie quarterbacks do poorly. Everything is new to them. Getting ready for Monday night, new. His teammates, new. Travel, new. Coaches, new. Playbook, new. Speed of the game, new. Everything is new. So they will struggle, and they should struggle, especially against a defense like the Saints, especially against a defense that flies around, a veteran defense, playmakers everywhere. If we shut down Tennessee, and Ryan Tannehill is no great shakes, but Ryan Tannehill is better than Bryce Young, or at least has the capability to be better than Bryce Young. Does that mean Bryce Young will never be better than Ryan Tannehill? I don't know about that. But right now, if you told me I could face either Ryan Tannehill or I could face Bryce Young, I would choose to face Bryce Young. That's controversial yet brave opinion that you can tell your friends. You don't even have to give me credit. Just use that as a hot take of your own.
First ever game, your first round pick.
Brian Brzee has as many sacks this season as Marcus Davenport had last year.
Yeah. Think about it. And so what I'm getting at is, Jake, you tell me, okay, all of that, and then you're going to take that defense against Bryce Young, who looked a bit overmatched in game number 1 against the Falcons. Now being at home and in game 2, you expect the first overall pick to get better, but that feels like a Panthers team that is just in full rebuild. So your defense should be a significant advantage over Bryce Young. And then even your quarterback, if we're just going quarterback on quarterback, Derek Carr should be a significant advantage over Bryce Young.
So I've said this about virtually every game on the Saints schedule. Besides Jacksonville, Detroit, arguably the Rams, Derek Carr is the best quarterback on the field. And that's a huge advantage in the NFL when it's a passing league. So yes, we have the advantage quarterback-wise, we have the advantage offense-wise, we have the advantage defense-wise. No reason we shouldn't go win this game. No reason we shouldn't sit here and say, and part of me, this is going to be controversial as well. Everyone puts a lot into the division, and it's mostly because when you play a division opponent, they know you, you know them. It's usually a tight contest because y'all play so much and you're so familiar with each other's schemes. Is that really the case when it's a rookie quarterback in their second week in the NFL? Can we really say it's a divisional game when Bryce Young has absolutely no concept of the division? A divisional game to Bryce Young, he knows the Saints as much as he knows the Patriots, as much as he knows whoever. He doesn't know anything. So part of me also kind of wants to throw out the idea that it's a quote unquote tough divisional game on the road. There's a lot of variables this early in the season playing a rookie quarterback.
At this point in his career.
Yeah, I don't know that they're in a rebuild, in their mind, because they went and signed Miles Sanders and Hayden Hurst and DJ Chark and Adam Thielen. They've made some moves.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. If your offseason is Adam Thielen, DJ Chark, Hayden Hurst, and Miles Sanders, congratulations, you are in a rebuild. Because those players are nothing.
I just think they are the first point that you made. They're a team that has a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
That's out there for the first time, and he looked like a quarterback that was out there for the first time. And he threw 2 interceptions. He completed 20 passes, but only for 146 yards.
Oh,
so it was a lot
disgusting.
of checkdowns, a lot of easy throws for him, and I think he's a player that eventually can be a really good player in the NFL. But
I don't think so.
Now he is going through it like all rookies are. So, again, kind of going back to our conversation.
I don't think he will be good. We've never seen a quarterback of Bryce Young's stature be successful in the NFL. So for me, there's no reason to think that this will be any different.
Conversation about Mississippi State. Now, this is a great time to catch the Carolina Panthers. And now it's not y'all correct me if I'm wrong, it's not a place that the Saints have really had a lot of consistent success, right?
It's been very bad.
The last 2 trips, they've scored 21 points combined against Carolina and Charlotte.
They have felt significant. So that.
I always talk about this, but when people, I never understand this line of thinking. The Saints are historically bad in Carolina. What does that have to do with this game? Or is it the same players? Is it the same coaches? Or is it the same people on the Panthers team? There's so many different factors. Whenever people say that, it blows my mind. It's like when people say, oh, well, the Saints are 0-10 against the Steelers. And then you go and look, and it's all the games are against the Steelers when they were winning Super Bowls. That obviously is different than now. There's a lot of context to historical stats and data, and I don't think any of it is relevant. I don't think there's a mystique about the Carolina stadium that the Saints just can't handle. Something that happened in 2009 has zero effect on what's happening this weekend in the game.
That would be a bad omen, Jake. It's a very good call because the Saints have felt like the significantly better team. I feel like the last few trips to Carolina, and it always seems to go awry. The offense just looks hapless every time you've been there recently.
Yeah,
they did run the football pretty well, though. Carolina did. Miles Sanders had 18 for 72. Hubbard had 9 for 60. They had 4.8 yards per carry on 32 carries as a team against the Falcons last week. And so how much of that did they try to do again? They threw the ball 38 times, and they were behind in the fourth quarter. It was a close game, though. I think Atlanta scored 14 in the fourth.
It's a close game because Atlanta is abysmal on offense. Atlanta is terrible offensively. They are running as close as you can get to a junior high school football offense in the NFL as possible. I think Ritter at one point had 7 yards passing. I mean, they just don't push the ball downfield. They don't get the ball to their weapons. They might as well just start running the wing tee.
Quarter to kind of pull away, but 38 times and you didn't have a lot of success, but you ran the football 32 times and you had some success. You have veteran running backs. Like, how much will they lean back on that and then try to take some off Bryce Young's plate?
Wasn't that the thing? Like, you got to get off to a fast start because, like you said, like Miles Sanders, he's their guy. I mean, they got him. They paid him. They gave him a lot of carries in week 1. If you can get off to a fast start offensively, like, you want Bryce Young throwing the ball 30 times in this game.
Yeah, for sure. I would say this, after watching Demario Davis seemingly take some of Derrick Henry's early success personal last week and then just go on the warpath against Derrick Henry, like, I'll take them to shut down Miles Sanders and the Panthers.
I feel good about it defensively. Offensively, I want to see how the offensive line bounces back because Carolina had 4 sacks last week.
Yeah.
And they have
who's on their D-line?
Well, I mean, just the whole offense. Like, the offense, just like I was talking about Bryce Young, how it's kind of early in his career. It's early in this offense's career, right? It's early with Derek Carr with these receivers. It's early with Derek Carr and these coaches. He's a veteran, so it's not going to take as long as Bryce Young, but the Saints offense has to get better. We're not going to win games 17-16 every week. So what I want to see, main thing I want to see this week is I want to see the offense click. I want to see the offense have full-length drives. I don't want to see 4 good plays and then we, fall apart and then punt. I want to see some nice, lengthy drives. I want to see the offense clicking. I want to see everything looks comfortable. And I want to put this team away. I mean, I want it to be 21-7, and I'm taking a nap. That's what I want. I want to see the Saints truly fire offensively. I'm not too concerned about, obviously our offensive line is an issue, but I'm not going to be focused on the offensive line. I'm going to be focused on, I obviously will be if they're just destroying Derek Carr. But it's more of this overall, like, okay, the offense had a game to get the jitters off, all that stuff. They got the win. Good, let's roll. Another week of practice. Cool, let's roll. Now I want to see them humming. Now I want to see them putting points on the board, getting up and down the field.
You don't know.
Brian.
Especially against a team where we should be winning the field position battle. We should be getting a lot of offensive opportunities because you would think Carolina's not going to be consistently going on prolonged, successful scoring drives. So we should have every opportunity to blow them out.
Ryan Burns, Derek Brown.
Derek Brown, Auburn?
Shy Tuttle.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Shy Tuttle, that's right.
Jeremy Chin certainly is a player that will line up.
These guys are
on
ass.
all 3 levels, so they've got some guys
this roster is garbage.
And an older Justin Houston, but he's there too.
Wow,
Justin Houston still plays in the
Yes.
NFL.
Damn.
He's on the Panthers. He had
That man was in the league when I was in the league.
Yeah, I remember playing preseason against him.
2 tackles last week.
Gosh.
Shout out Justin Houston. He had 2 tests. He's playing. Wow.
Yeah, so the Saints got to block a lot better. That's a decent front 7 they have over there. J.C. Horn is out. I think that's significant.
JC, he hurt his hamstring. He's out for a significant amount of time.
Yes, C.J. Henderson has been painfully average since he came in the NFL as a first-round pick. That can be big for the Saints.
The Saints' weapons will win the battle. It's the questions of if the offensive line can hold up. Here's what Derek Carr had some interesting perspective, I thought, Jake, on the offensive line that we're going to get you here in a second. All right, here's what Derek Carr said about how.
All right, here we go. Let's hear it.
Managing the game with the guys up front.
We got another really good front here, so my mindset has always, Coach Gruden always told me, he was like, look, I don't care whatever happens in front of you, relatively, you just try and find a way, your best way to try and move the ball down the field. And, sometimes he would help. Sometimes I understand there's nothing you can do, but just keep that mindset and that mentality that you're always going to try and move the ball no matter what happens. But
basically exactly what I just said. Me and John Gruden thinking alike. Pretty much what I was saying was you can't really focus on the offensive line. You can't focus on, is everything perfect? Is the protection perfect? Is there a pocket? Who the hell knows? Like it changes too much. There's too many variables, all that stuff. I'm more focused on Derek Carr. I'm more focused on the offense. I'm more focused on him running the offense, getting the ball where it's got to go. I'm glad my mindset is the same as Derek Carr's, which is the same as John Gruden. I also think it's hilarious that he's referencing John Gruden here.
My mindset, no matter what, like if I get hit, don't get hit, whatever, like I'm just playing football, and I'm always just trying to move the ball. And I try and keep that mindset to where I don't even care. It's going great. It's not that's okay, But my confidence level is always high in our guys, especially with the talent we have in that room and the things I've seen them do all offseason.
Hell yeah, dude.
We gotta get Derek some different shirts.
That sort of relentless positivity.
Were they doing that in the middle of airline?
No, I think they were actually at the New Orleans airport when that was.
What?
Okay, everybody calm down.
Where's the
He
clip
wasn't
mic?
mic'd
Wait,
up.
what are we doing
That was
here?
recorded on a cell phone. We probably could have found better audio quality. That's fair. But we're losing focus here, boys. The point is,
No, the devil's in the details, right?
you're going to tell me that you, Mr. Grit Toughness, don't appreciate what Derek Carr just said. If I get hit, I don't get hit, I don't care.
Yeah, I
I'm
knew
just
that
playing.
Carr has been in his career questionable when it comes to pressure. He's been known to kind of get panicky, go down a little early, feel the pressure before it's actually there. So whenever we're talking about pocket collapsing, pressure, all that stuff, to me, it really does come down to Carr. How is Carr going to feel it? Has he learned? Is he going to feel a little differently? Is he going to take the hits? Is he going to stand in there? That's something that's worth watching. If you're watching at home and you want to take a chart and like, okay, what should I watch for? That would be a good little beat of how is Carr handling pressure if he gets it.
Football. I'm just playing football. I'm going to stay positive. So immediately in your mind, you take out the excuse of, oh, well, I'm playing bad because the offensive line's not playing well, right? Because he is trying to force his mind into a place
Well, the only
where
quarterback
that's
that would say that's Jay Cutler, and he retired. So.
yeah. Well, there's, Kyler Murray would.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Kyler Murray
Pretty
would.
sure
fair.
Russell Wilson was on record saying something
That's
similar
fair.
towards the end
Well,
of
I'm
Seattle.
not even sure he's a real person. So.
Russell Incorporated. No, so I mean, look, I love that attitude from Carr. And if I'm no lineman, not that this is going to matter if you just suck and you're getting beat, but that makes me want to go even harder for that guy, right? That makes you want to do even better for that guy to not let him down because he has such relentless, optimistic belief in you.
He seems like an incredible teammate that already has the ear of the team, which is.
Yeah, I think, and that's something that I have said that I did not fully see happening, was I took Carr for granted of how much of a leader he is and how quickly he owned the locker room and owned the city. I mean, he, like Jacob just said, he does have the ear, it seems like, of the players. That he is the leader, which I think goes to show how much the Saints roster and locker room needed that. It's hard to lose Drew Brees and Sean Payton, and all of a sudden you're looking around like, who is the leader? Who is the mouthpiece? Who is the guy? Especially if it's not Dennis Allen. And certainly it's not Peter Carmichael. DeMario Davis probably went into that role, but it's hard for a defensive player in today's NFL to be the face of that locker room. Your quarterback does have to take on that role, I think. And that's something I think we lacked with Jameis Winston, Andy Dalton, and Trevor Siemian and Taysom Hill even. So having Derek Carr there, that has filled an enormous void that the locker room was suffering from.
It's great. Yeah. It's exactly what the team needed. And again, I know how critical I was of him and to what he could do and what he could bring to the Saints and how far they can go. And I want to be so wrong. I want to be here, and so far, he's proved me wrong. And I think it's only going to continue to grow if they protect him just a little bit better.
Yeah.
Just protect him a little bit better. And you saw some of the things that the Saints saw and gave him all that money, and they got to do a better job. Because even a veteran quarterback, the last thing you want is for him to expect you to lose. Because I have seen even the best quarterbacks in the league, if they have a problem and they expect your guy to lose, then they're not themselves because they're trying to make up for you losing. And so they play outside of their body, outside of their capability, even if it's at an elite level. So you got to get it fixed.
Yeah, and that does sound kind of like what his mindset would dictate. Is that, okay, if my guy's losing, accept it and then figure out a way to navigate through it. So it can push you still. It's not like it's just going to work out.
And so then you're kind of, if it's your left tackle, then you're all.
Let me make this clear, because it sounds like we're really harping on the offensive line. I don't think we're in a situation where the offensive line is so bad that it could hamper the whole season. I don't think we're in a situation where the offensive line is 32 out of 32. It's the worst you can possibly imagine. Derek Carr has no time back there, thus he's going to suffer because of it. Do we have a middle-of-the-road offensive line? Maybe. but I wouldn't worry about it really at all when it comes to like the grand scheme of what we're trying to do.
Predetermining a slide to the right in the pocket, and then you run into a situation where the right tackle's guy's not really winning, but he is winning because you're off your marker a little bit. And like, again, I've seen even the most veteran quarterbacks do it, and I understand you're trying to make a play. You're trying to make up for a deficiency. He's not there yet, which is a good thing. He won't be there this week, which is a good thing. But they got to get it cleaned up, T-Bob. And this rush unit for the Panthers, they got some dudes.
Yeah.
They got Jimmys and Joes that
They
can go
have
after
better
there.
dudes than Tennessee had, because Tennessee had dudes as well,
I mean,
right?
Look, no disrespect to Arden Key. Arden Key's been a really good player. He's not Brian Burns.
Yeah, he hasn't been as good as he was last week.
Now, Jeffrey Simmons is a dude, but so is Derek Brown.
Yeah.
Simmons is better, but Brown's not that far off.
It's a bunch of SEC boys.
It is.
Where'd Burns go, actually?
Florida State?
Believes.
All right, so let me kind of wrap a bow on this. As we got really into the weeds with the offensive line talk and the SEC alumni talk or whatever's going on here, here's what we're going to look for, ladies and gentlemen. Here's my keys to the game. Here's what I'm going to be watching for. Offense. Are we clicking? Are we better tempo-wise? Are we better scheme-wise? Are we rolling a little bit more than we were in week one? Are we knocking off some of that rust? Are we starting to find who needs to be where? Are we going to start, week one, you see things and you're like, did this just happen week one, or is this how it's going to be? For example, Taysom. Is Taysom going to have 3 carries a game? Is Taysom's days of having 10-plus touches over? We'll see. Rashid Shaheed, he was everywhere in week one. Are we going to lean on him again? Is he a guy that's going to get 6 targets, a couple carries, return kicks? Like, is that his role? Thomas and Olave, are they going to get the same amount of work? Are they going to get 10 targets, 8 targets? Or is that going to go up or go down? What are we going to do there? Jawan Johnson, he had 3 receptions last week. Will the tight ends be more of a focus? Moving the ball, scoring, even the running, the running attack. If we have trouble running, we have to sit here and now wonder, okay, why is Jamal Williams getting 2.5 yards a carry? What's going on in the run game? So how I'm going to approach this game is all of the questions from week one, even if they aren't questions, just all the data points. We're going to see if those data points were just a week one thing, or if that's something that's going to matriculate throughout the season. Because if they start happening, then you can say, okay, this is what the Saints are going to try and do. And we can start forgetting about certain things. For example, if Derek Carr is protected this week, then we can pretty much throw out this whole, like, the sky is falling with our offensive line. If we can run the ball this week, then we can pretty much throw out the 2.6 yards a carry. All right, if we go out there and Derek Carr throws for 400 yards and whatever, we can just kind of chalk up week one to week one. That's how the NFL is. We can't overreact to week one. All we can do is kind of take it, figure out what our data points are, and then build a case either for or against those data points. Again, I'm not worried about Carolina. I don't think Carolina's very good. I think Carolina's in the bottom 5-ish teams in the league. I think Bryce Young is in over his head. I don't think he's going to be very good. I don't think he should have been the first overall pick. I don't expect much out of Carolina's offense. Could I be wrong? Yeah, sure, I could. But I rarely am. So I'm predicting the Saints comfortable. I'll say 24-10 Saints and a good win. It'll be fun to watch. I'm excited for it. Let me know in the comments below, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? What's your score prediction? Where are you at with a lot of what was said here in this video? Are you that concerned about the offensive line? Do you think that, or what are you watching for in the game? What's some main points that you want to see? Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.